What's going on, everybody? UFC Fight Night 10. UFC Fight Night 10 is here. 12 fights scheduled for this card. It's strange it's to see 12 fights. I don't think it's going to end up with 12 fights. Probably going to see, 11, maybe 10. Never know, right? Someone might test again positive for COVID. Someone may have a bad weight cut. It's been crazy the past few months in Vegas here. We all know last week was only seven fights. So you never know. That's why I like to release this video. Now I'm going to be releasing it after the weigh-ins. And also, obviously, stuff could happen before the fight. Stuff could happen way after the weigh-ins. It's tough, right? It's tough to see. It's tough to predict. But, if stuff gets voided, things get voided. Like last week, my best bet got voided. But this happened right before it was the same day. I think it was the morning of the fight. So definitely tough to predict. But they're going to go back to Fight Island, be in that bubble. So that should be good. Not the best card, of course. Probably one of the weaker main events I've seen. Watterson versus Hill for 5 rounds. I can't recall a weaker main event in a while, to be honest. Card overall, it's not bad. There's a couple decent fights, but hey, it's a UFC Fight Night card from Vegas, right? We know not to expect too much. However, next week should be fun, guys. Covington, Woodley. We have the return of Khamzat Chimaev is back, facing Gerald Meerschaert. So that should be a fun one. Couple other good fights on that card as well. So we'll be back into good card starting next week. I already have looked at some of those fights and do have some plays here, but I was able to find some value. Nothing crazy. More leans to 2-fight parlays. I did find some value, like I always do. Just it's not my favorite card of all time here. Let's take a look at the updated record. It stayed the same. Basically, we profited very slightly because that got wiped out, right? So it's still 41-14, 74%, 74.5% on the season for best bets, guys, official plays. Best bets now are going to be available to subscribers only. I'm still going to provide plays I like on the video. I'll be breaking down the fights, tell you what I think about them. Still give out my 2-fight parlays. I know a lot of you guys that watch this are parlay players. I don't suggest it, but hey, I did that too when I first started. But 2-fight parlay is a lot easier to win than these big ticket 6 parlay, 5 parlays. And of course, the value bet, I always find a value bet, do pretty well in them as well. Now, these 2-fight parlays, value bets, they aren't counting against, my best bets because they're not my best bets, but they're plays that I do like and count against my unit record. So technically, the unit record went up very, very, very slightly. We hit the value players plus 105, and then the parlay, we went 1 for 1. So, yeah, very slight profit. I didn't count it. Kept the units and the percentage the same. Like I always say, guys, be subscribed to the channel, like and comment. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into the main event. I do have another video coming shortly as well, come around the same time, the NFL Week 1. I've been very busy, haven't been sleeping much with the subscription service, finding plays, and obviously going over everything NFL. But I'll be powering it through for you guys. Main event, Watterson versus Hill. It's a 5-rounder, like I mentioned. It would probably favor Hill for the 5 rounds. I don't think it's a huge difference, though. I would lean Hill just for the 5 rounds. In that aspect of it, cardio and going the distance. If this fight goes 4 or 5 rounds, I think this fight, it's going to get fairly ugly in the 4th and 5th round. Should be a slower fight. Both girls are coming off losses, right? Watterson lost 2 in a row, which always makes me worried a bit to bet against them. When a fighter lost 2 in a row. Now I know Watterson probably wouldn't get cut due to her name and she's very public and she promotes herself well. So I don't think she would get cut, but any shot at a title shot is going to be gone out the window. I think this should be a very close fight. This isn't one I'm going to get involved in from a side standpoint. Obviously, Waterson is the value at the plus money, right? Plus money with Waterson, the 2-fight loss. I would lean her way. However, I won't bet on this fight. If you look at Waterson, obviously she fought the much better competition. I factor that into my plays. When I look at plays, I look at who did she fight and who did her opponent fight, and why does maybe Waterson have 2 losses? Because she's fought top of competition in those 2 losses, right? Why is Waterson on a 2-fight winning streak? Why is her record this compared to this girl that's 8-1? I'm not saying Hill's 8-1. I'm giving you an example. 8-1. This person fought newcomers coming to the UFC and bottom of the barrel fighters. Then you have another fighter that her record may not be as good, but she's fought top competition. You got to put that into effect. So I always suggest that for anything, really, for any sport, to be honest. But here, I think it plays in factor a little more. With Waterson, we know she does have the leg kicks. Very, very good movement, too. If you watch her last fight, movement was very, very sharp. And those leg kicks are dangerous. And she'll be the better grappler, I think, as well. I know Hill can strike, though, right? Hill can strike and box. She does have a bit of power as well. So I think it's a very close fight. Will it go to the distance? I think so. Right? I do think so. No one's knocking out anybody. But we could see, a submission or something like that. So, we're not going to be on an investment standpoint. I'm not going to be on anything here. I'll watch it. I don't think it's going to be that great of a fight, but should be close. Should be a very close fight. And like I said, there's value with Waterson. Obviously at plus money. Worthy versus Azaitar. This one should be fun, guys. Azaitar slight dog. Worthy 138 favorite. Worthy's been the underdog, and he's been cashing as an underdog. Cashing for people that are huge underdog. He cashed it, then he cashed out a slighter underdog. This should be a fun one. I personally don't see it going the full distance. Both guys can throw hands. Both guys are good strikers. Azaitar will throw heavy shots, and he could catch Worthy. That's why I wasn't able to get all in on Worthy. I do lean Worthy in this fight. He's been on a nice run, like I said, right? Cashing as big dogs. Azaitar has an impressive record, though. Yes, outside of the UFC for the most part, but I did watch a few of his fights. Cardio looks fine. He can throw heavy. He'll be throwing heavy bombs in this one to try to knock off Worthy's head. It's a tricky fight. Worthy be the play. I'm not going to get there from an investment standpoint. I do think the play would be fight not to go to the distance, but it's 250. Throw it in a parlay, sure. But if you do like a side, look for the value. Look for Worthy plus 137 or Azaitar at plus 200 for KO and finish. I don't think it's going to go to distance, so there's some better value there at plus 137 Worthy and plus 200 for Azaitar. Lee versus Mata Ferry. Technically, these two ladies fought before. They have fought before. Mata Ferry did win this fight. I do have a best bet in this fight, so I'm not going to go over too much. Besides, Lee is a big favorite here due to her being the better striker. Mata Ferry does have the win against her, though. It was back in 2014. Lee was starting her career. She was 2-0 at the time. Rox was there. Had a bunch of fights. So you do got to look at that as well. Also, Lee has lost 2 in a row. She has lost 2 in a row. Definitely the much better striker here. But Mata Ferry could bring her to the ground and dominate there. I think Lee has improved quite a bit with her takedown defense. But yeah, like I said, I do have a best bet in this fight. And I'll just leave it at that, guys. Next fight here, Herman versus Rodriguez. Just going to go over the whole main event, main card for you guys. We got Rodriguez minus 250. Herman, he's been scheduled to fight so many times the past little while. He's been up and down. He doesn't know who he's fighting. Rodriguez just fought about a month ago. So he's ready to get back in there. He does have the height and reach advantage here by quite some margin. Both guys don't have great cardio, so I don't see this going that long. I don't see it going a full distance here. Rodriguez has fought to 3 straight finishes, winning 2 of those. Herman is a tough guy. That's why I can't go all in here on Rodriguez TKO. He can take shots. He will be the better wrestler here. So if you can try to get this to the ground to work Rodriguez, that may be key here. But Herman, I think he gassed out. He can't wrestle for 3 rounds. I don't see that. Herman also, he's on a 2-fight win streak here, and he does have the experience advantage as well, right? But he's at the tail end of his career. I think all these changes in the past month is going to play a factor here. Different opponents here and there. Getting to Vegas, think he's fighting. He didn't end up fighting. So it's been a whole debacle for Herman. But he does have a chance to win this with his wrestling. The 3 rounds of the cardio is a negative against him, obviously, with the cardio. So I will play Rodriguez here. I do like Rodriguez. I'll put him in a parlay. His reach and striking, I think, will be the difference here. He can jab and move. I can't really get behind the TKO or decision here, so I do think Herman's tough enough to hang around the decision, so I won't take an outcome. We'll put Rodriguez in our 2-fight parlay this week, guys. Bobby Green minus 240 versus Patrick. I feel like Green loves fighting during these COVID times. He's been doing well too. 3 fights for him, and he's looked good in back-to-back wins. Patrick's last fight was in 2018, which was a loss to the hockey player Holtzman. I don't like betting on fighters out of the game for 2 years, to be honest. Might be a little rusty. So I think that benefits Bobby fighting a lot, right? Now, we won't be laying the minus 240, so this would keep me off from betting it, and just the uncertainty on Patrick. He could come back and look amazing. I don't know, right? He was scheduled to fight about 3 weeks ago. He did drop out of that. I don't know why. I'm going to stay away from this. I would suggest maybe if you want to take a look at Bobby Green minus 240 in a parlay, but this is a fight that I can also see being called off for some weight cut issues or corona or something, since Patrick did it 3 weeks ago. You never know. I'll be staying away from this, but I would lean Green to win this fight. Quarantilo versus Nelson. Quarantilo minus 250. This should be a fun one, guys. Opening up the main card. Billy's coming off a decision win over Spike. Great fight, great battle. Close fight. I think it could have went either way. Billy did win that fight, showed his toughness and unwillingness to quit, which I like, versus Spike. And he got the close decision call. It was a 50-50 call. Nelson, I think, should have a strong start, however. Billy has a gas tank. All right, so this is what I think will win him this fight. He'll have that gas tank. He's pretty strong anywhere it goes. So I think the strikes per minute will come into effect here, where Billy... this is where I think the fight will be won by Billy, is strikes per minute. 7.4 per minute, where Nelson is at 2.7 per minute, only landing 36%, which is a big difference here, where Billy's up in the 70% range. So I think Billy could win this fight. Very tough to call an outcome here. It could be finished by Billy maybe in the later rounds, because I think Nelson gets gassed out in the later rounds. But I think if Billy avoids that early surge from Nelson, Billy should win this. Tough call to call the outcome here, so I'll put Billy in the 2-fight parlay with Rodriguez, Quarantilo and Rodriguez. I'll leave you guys with a prelim fight that I like, and it's going to be my value bet. You got Barberina minus 275 versus Ivy. He is back. Barbs has been in there with some solid guys, especially the last 2, which have been losses, Randy Brown and Vince Luque. Tough fights for him. I think Barberina won that second round, but then he ended up losing to Brown. Ivy hasn't shown me anything in his short career, and I don't like Barberina after losing 2. I like betting sometimes with guys after losing 2 in a row. So we're going to be on him. He took some time off. This would be another parlay piece if you guys want to put him just in the straight. But I'm going to go on the value here. Minus 120 for him to finish the fight within the distance. He does have some finishes on the record, so we'll go with that. Barboza, minus 120 is the value bet to finish this fight. All right, guys, that parlay also, Rodriguez and Quarantilo, you're going to get that at even money. Just them to win the fight on that parlay. All right, guys, please subscribe, like, and comment. It does help me out. Also, if you want some more information on my subscription service, NFL is here. NFL's here, my strongest sport, along with UFC. You get emails each day. I have a play, updated records. I do have a website as well now. It's systemsportscapping.com. Same with my email, systemsportscapping at gmail.com. If you want some more information, check out the website. Give me an email. I'll get back to you within an hour. My subscribers will admit that I am good with that, hopefully. And feel free to reach out to me on Twitter as well. All right, guys. Like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy the fight. Take care.